Let's see who's here early. I have about 10 people here waiting. Polygon Gaming said, bros too early. See who's here. If you're here already, say hi. Is there any comments? There we go. I was like worried it was broken because I'm not in the spot I wanted to do streaming from today. I'm actually planning on streaming in a different place right now, but we'll talk about that in a second. Welcome, Cosma. There's a name I recognize. Let's see who's Polygon Gaming. Of course, I recognize you too. The After Work Hustle. Just reading some of these names. Starlight Night. Is that like Night Bright, or what was that thing? They had something like that for like, they had like a commercial with the song when I was a kid. We'd like put these little plastic things into like a box and then you flick on a light and it would like light up your creation that you made with like these little plastic pixels. Donak, James, Zeteralina, it's Kai. Hey Kai, good to see you. Missed you at the last one. Keith. Hold on, I just want to read everyone's name before we go into some comments. Gina, Donik, Teresa, Afterwork Hustle, I can't read your name, but hello. Helen, Sarah, okay. Brienne. All right, now I'm not gonna keep reading everyone's names. I just want to do that for first few people, but I was actually planning to do a stream today inside of a mall that's near in the area where I'm at. Which is why I actually have it on vertical mode, because I didn't want to do horizontal and then like everyone else is in the shot. I am right here. Check it out. Actually, let me extend my selfie stick. Maybe it's maybe I could get a good shot of me with the building. It's so high. It's so tall. There's no way I can be in this shot unless I go all the way up to here and you look up my nose. There's no way I could get. There's no way I could get myself in the shot together with this whole building. It's really big. Yes, it looks like a giant brush, as Korean people will call it. Is this Dubai? No. Yeah, I've switched languages here. We're going to be doing Learn Arabic. That's the language, one of the languages they speak there, right? Learn Arabic with Go Billy Arabic. No, this is what is called the Lotte Tower. Lotte Tower, and it's pretty famous. Oh, I get the view again. There we go. Okay, now you can't see it. Anyway, well, let's walk and talk for a bit. Punjabi, yo. I don't actually know what that means, but I've seen it before. Does that? What does it mean? I'm gonna go to South Korea in 2 years. Nice. Someone should propose on top of that. Oh my God. You technically can go up there. There is an observation deck, but it's not open. You can't, like, even if you pay like a bunch of money, they won't let you up there. There was, I swear I saw some people go up almost up to the top. But yeah, you can't go up there. No tours. You can take there's like an elevator that goes up to the top though, like on the inside, not the roof area outside, but like the inside part. There's an elevator that you can pay to go up to the top for a view. I don't think that kind of thing is worth it. I think you can spend your money shopping or, you know, getting some really good Korean food. I wouldn't spend my money to go to the top of a building that, I mean, you can get that view for free. Just go to the Seoul N Tower, and you don't even have to go up the Seoul N Tower. Just go up to the area and you get a really nice view. Especially if it's your first time in Korea, you want a really cool view, just go there, totally free. Well, pay for the bus. Don't walk like what I did. It's like 30-minute hike. Okay, let's take a few comments. I get dizzy just seeing from this video. Yeah, I've never been up there either. I frankly don't care because I've already seen views. Like, you see views from other high buildings too. Although, to be fair, this one is very high. But if you go to the Seoul N Tower, you can get the same type of view. Different location, obviously, but same sort of like really high up view. 100% free. And as a bonus, they also have other stuff you can do in the area too. In Daejeong University? Okay. What are some things I can do in Jeju Island? Well, you can do what I did, and you rent a private taxi driver for the entire day. They know the area. They're from Jeju. They'll drive you everywhere you want to go. They'll suggest where you want to go. They'll be like, no, you don't want to go there. And they'll take your photos for you if you need someone to take your photos. If not, they'll just hang out in their taxi. They drop you off. They'll wait in their taxi there, pick you up when you're done. They might stop to go to the bathroom or eat something a couple times, and then that's it. And then you pay them for the day. I don't know how much that'll cost now. I did it, I think I paid like $200 or something for it at the time I did it, but that was a while ago. It was like 10 or so years ago. But if you do that, because the reason why I would suggest that, although it is a bit expensive, is because you need a car in Jeju. You're not going to have a fun time. It's like if a tourist says they're coming to LA, where I'm originally from, and they are planning on taking like taxis and, buses or whatever, I say, like, don't even think about it. Like, you need a car to visit LA. You need a car to be in Jeju. You need a car to be pretty much anywhere in Korea that's not in a major city, that's easily accessible with like subways and buses. So if you're going out into the countryside or you're going to Jeju especially, I really recommend driving. At least get an international license and then drive in Jeju. Or if you don't really want to do that, you want to enjoy your trip more, taxi. But I don't recommend just doing buses in Jeju, even though transportation in Korea is excellent in Seoul. It's not as frequent, it's not as much in Jeju. Bus system works in Jeju, but as I recall, it's not as frequent. Like you might have, because some of the areas, why do they want to have a bus run a bunch of times to an area if the bus isn't always going to be full? Or it's not, they don't know when they want to have the buses run until, because tourists might all go during this time of day. So what, do they set up a bus that only goes there and back at this time? And then you're not going to be going from like one place to another. You're going to be going from whatever your schedule is. Like, you're not going to be going from the same place as everyone to the next spot. You'll be going from one spot to the next, and then you might decide, oh, now let's go over here. And there's no bus route that goes over there. So you have to go to a bus route that goes over here. And you might wait an hour for your bus. Like that sort of situation where you can get around with buses. There's no subway, but you can get around with just buses, but you're going to be spending a lot of your important time. So unless you have like a whole week to enjoy Jeju, probably you want to just do like driving or get a taxi. I waited up to 20 minutes in Gyeongju and Pohang. It's not bad though. 20 minutes is fine, because I live in Suwon whenever I'm in Korea, and in Suwon, some of the buses here, it'll come like, I'm not in Suwon right now, some of the buses will come every 20 minutes, just like that. The subway might be like every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, depending on the time you're trying to take it. So yeah, that's not, 20 minutes is okay. I think when it starts to get, I think 30 minutes is when it actually starts being a really big inconvenience. That's when you start missing your appointments, because you'll get to the bus stop and you just missed your bus. Like, 2 minutes ago the bus left, and now you got to wait 28 minutes for the next one. Or your worse is like your bus is coming in 5 minutes and you're a 10-minute walk away. So now you're running like in the summer heat to get your bus, so you don't wait an extra 30 minutes. It just kind of ruins the mood, I think, of your trip. So, which airport is better? Oh, and if you asked a question before and I ignored it, I did ignore it, but it's because I was trying to say hi to everyone first. Please feel free to re-ask it and I'll check the chat again. Yeah, I originally was going to be doing a live stream inside of this mall here, but then I checked after I went inside. I can go inside, but the official opening isn't till 10:30, and most of the shops are just closed until 11. So I thought, well, that's not good. Instead, we'll just kind of walk around outside, and maybe we'll go in later toward the end. But right now it's not raining, and it's humid, but it's not. It's cool. So I think it's okay to be walking around outside today. Otherwise, I was thinking it was supposed to be raining all day, in which case I would have to be indoors. So we'll just kind of walk around out here. There's some pretty stuff we can see. So Starlight Knight asks, which airport is better? You want ICN, Incheon. Seoul Airport, I've never flown into that one. I don't know if you'll have any international flights for there, depending on where you're coming from. Busan, no, unless you're going to Busan. You don't want to fly into Busan to go to hang out in Korea if you're going to Seoul. Hime is okay, but there aren't going to be any flights that go there, at least from the US that I know of. So, and it probably is more expensive. Location-wise, though, either is fine, Incheon or Kime. They're both not that far away. But yeah, I would recommend Incheon. It's probably going to be the only one that you see. Okay, let's do a couple other questions. Is it cloudy there? This, right now, I don't know the official thing, but it's supposed to be Changma, I believe, which means like every day is like humid and raining. But I actually don't know when that officially starts. It'll always officially like start on a day when there's like no rain, and it'll end and it's still raining. So the actual like official dates for it are kind of weird. But it's right now that season, which means every day could potentially rain starting from today, I believe, actually. So yeah, and this morning it was raining when I came here, but now it's stopped and it's cloudy. But you can expect cloudy weather at least for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or as ever long it feels like. Or maybe you get a year where it just doesn't rain at all. That's happened too, where it's Changma and they say it's, oh, Changma starting and then no rain, and then it'll rain a ton like a week later. XOXO says, I'm learning Korean from your videos. Nice. What is your favorite food in Korea? That would be sundae. I made a post about it yesterday as well. Sundae or sundaekuk, both of those, I love them. I can't pick which one I like more. If you want a more conventional Korean food that I also really like, it would be maybe galbi, like yangnyeom galbi, or any of those Korean barbecue meats that you kind of cook in front of yourself. Those are all really good. One of those. But I mean, I like a lot of stuff. I'm not super like picky on what I eat. I also really like a franchise known as Isaac Toast, which is just like toast sandwiches basically that have cheese and ham and scrambled egg with corn in it. And they put on this like kiwi sauce, and the toast is a tiny bit sweet. It's kind of like French toast almost. That's really good. That's one of my favorites too. And it's like $2. So, I mean, you can't really complain. All right, we're at a park. This is not where I plan to do streaming today, but you know what? Why not? We're at a park that I really like, but I don't go here too much because it's a bit far from where I live, but it's known as Seokchon Hosu. Seokchon Hosu is like lake, so it's the Seokchon Lake Park. I'm gonna give you a better view here, just going down these stairs. Wish me luck that I don't die. Sundae with ice cream. Yes, I did. I did try that. You know, Polygon Gaming. I made an ice cream sundae with my son, and he cried. This is a really popular park. In fact, if you are in Korea during the cherry blossom season, I highly recommend checking out this park because every single one of these trees will be that. But if you come during the cherry blossom season, it'll also be like every inch of this space here will be covered with a person. But it's really popular. I just know that during the cherry blossom season, this whole area is pink. So it's a nice place. It's not the only place though. There are a bunch of other places like that where you can see tons of trees. This is just the one that happens to be in this area. The park's kind of nice. People come here for dates, just walk around, take photos, you know, where the girl's like standing on the, kind of just standing here, and the boyfriend takes a photo from behind just to show her silhouette, you know, those types of couple photos. Okay, we got a few other questions here. Omololok says, can I get my first driver's license in Korea? I would not recommend doing that because if you get your license in Korea, you really want to just bring your international license. Getting a license in Korea by itself is rather complicated if you don't have a license already. You have to do lots of studying for it. It's like actually a test. Whereas in the US, I mean, I read the driver manual for like a week. Then I really actually studied the night before. I did like maybe 16 or 17 hours of driving practice or something, less than 20, and then got my license. It wasn't that big of a deal. In Korea, it's more of a thing. So I would recommend just getting your license in your home country and then getting an international license when you come to Korea, because there's just a short test that you do here. And as I remember, it is kind of lenient on the grading. So it's pretty easy to do that, to switch it over. Watercolor looks awesome. Yeah, it's like green. I don't know how it looks in the screen, but in real life, it looks like green. It looks just, oh yeah, it does. It looks just like that in here. It looks exactly like this right now, which is really cool. And it doesn't look like, it's not like a ugly like pond green or something like that. It's like a nice nature greenish. if that makes sense. It looks like pleasantly green. Ari asks, what's the best place to visit when you're in Korea? The best place to visit in Korea, there's no such thing. It's just whatever you like to do. If you're a K-pop fan, that's going to be a concert. But at least you do want to do some of the default spots. If you just Google like best places to visit in Korea, like pick a few of those, and you know, just so you can say that you've been there. Everyone's got to go to Gyeongbokgung, right? The palace. You have to pick a palace. Everyone's got to go to, you know, a shopping area. So either do like Myeongdong or Insadong or something like that, just so you can say you did it. And everyone's got to try some Korean food. But besides that, it's really up to you. I can give you suggestions though on which one you might like. If you give me like a few options, I can tell you which one will be a better choice. Lauren asks, what motivated you to learn Korean? I think I've answered this before, but the original reason I first ever learned any Korean words, it was because of a girl that I was interested in. No shame. If anyone says that the reason they started learning Korean is from K-pop, there's no shame in that. I frankly don't care as a teacher. I think the initial reason why you learn has nothing to do with whether you're actually going to learn or not. I've seen people who wanted to learn Korean because they thought it was a beautiful language, just completely linguistical interests, and then didn't ever learn the language. And I've seen other people who are like, oh yeah, I met a Korean girl in high school, and then they like master the language. So you never really, it doesn't really matter. Or people who are like BTS fans, but then, you know, get completely fluent. Doesn't matter. I'm not learning Korean now because of the reason I started. But yeah, that was the original reason. Okay, let me just check a few other comments. Any tips for making Korean friends? Brienne, yes, I think if you're in, wait, is this for, oh, okay, when living here, all right. So making Korean friends living in Korea, the best way to do that is to attend meetups, really. You're not gonna make friends on the street so much, unless you're that kind of person who is like, who you do that in the US too. You just go up to people and start small talk and just make friends. It's probably not gonna happen in Korea. I mean, there are lots of places you can meet friends, like bars. You could meet friends there, hanging around like, you know, popular tourist spots. There are going to be Koreans walking around looking for foreign friends sometimes for English practice. But if you don't want to be that kind of friend, you actually want a friend to speak Korean with, then my recommendation would be to join some clubs, like not bar clubs, but like, you know, what do you call meetups? So like jogging or exercise groups. They have like bouldering groups. If you're into sports, they have lots of sports groups, of course. I'm into photography, so I do photography groups, and I made a bunch of friends that way. You can do meetups for language exchange, though just know that more likely you're going to be someone's token English-speaking friend, and you might not find anyone to speak Korean that way, even though it's called language exchange. From what I've heard is most people have that experience. So yeah, meetups are going to be the best way. You can also meet friends online through language exchange apps, and then you can filter through the ones that actually seem to want to talk with you in Korean and want to help you, and then meet them in real life. I mean, yeah, and then meet them in Korea. While you're in Korea, you can meet them online first, though, just to kind of filter them out. I've done that before as well, with varied success. I think I met one friend that way that I still contact with. But yeah, it depends. You just have to do a lot of searching and a lot of filtering to find friends that are going to match well with you. Because like with anything, you're actually looking for a real friend. You're not looking for a teacher. If you want a teacher, you can just hire a tutor. I hear someone, oh, never mind. That's the official speakers playing. Okay, let's see another comment. Do you have any let's see. I want to do a comment from another person here. How often, if ever, do you dreaming in Korean? Not too often, maybe like once a month at most. Okay, Alex says, I'm going to Korea and my native friends tell me the area I'm going to speaks a lot of English. Well, yeah, if you go anywhere that's in a big city, it's going to be the same thing. I don't think it's going to be specific to what area you're in. Like if you're going to Seoul, literally anywhere, they'll speak English. If you go to like a countryside area, more likely they won't. But it depends. I've heard people like go out to the middle. I was just talking with someone actually yesterday, and she said she made a trip into like the middle of nowhere, like just random sigur, like countryside area, hoping that she could use some Korean. And even the person there at like the store was just trying to speak English with her. So But you say, how would you recommend learning when that's the case? Basically, I guess that comes down to your attitude about it. Like, how determined are you to try to keep using it even when other people are using it too? But I gave her this advice. Actually, I'll give it to all of you as well. A lot of it comes down to the very first thing that you say when you interact with a Korean person. That is what's going to determine what language you are speaking in and what your relationship is. If someone speaks to you first in English and you reply in English, doesn't matter what you're doing, like after that, doesn't matter if you end up becoming friends, your relationship's gonna be in English with that person. Like, the way it starts is how it will end for a relationship. So if you have someone goes up to you and starts speaking English, you can reply in Korean. I do that all the time. Like, I just reply and pretend like, it's not trying to be rude, it's me just saying, oh, don't worry, I can use Korean. If they keep insisting on using English, well, that person's not a friend I want. I'm not looking to be someone's English teacher. But if you are in the beginning using some Korean, that will help. So first of all, start with Korean, no matter what. Even if they use English to you, start with Korean. And then the first thing that you say also, your expression is really important too. And I was talking with this because the person I was talking with yesterday, she had a very like smiley expression and everything, she was really happy, which is great. Be happy. But don't smile at strangers in Korea when you meet someone, because they don't do that. So it's not like a rude thing or anything. It's totally fine. They'll like it. But the reason that they're speaking English to you right away is because they see you smiling and they see, it stands out like a thoursome. What's a thoursome? Is that, I don't know. Okay, anyway. Sore thumb, that's what I was trying to say. Not a thoursome. You stand out a lot when you're smiling, when you start talking with someone. So if you can learn how to do this, that's one thing that will help you. The second part of it also is making eye contact directly when you're talking with someone. It can be a bit strong. I recommend looking down a bit when you start talking with someone. Like, you can make initial eye contact for a second, but don't maintain eye contact with someone when you're asking them a question, because they can be like really nervous and uncomfortable about that. Like, they're not used to talking in Korean with someone who's not Korean, and they'll feel weird about it. Like, they'll think it's cooler. Rather than wanting to help you with Korean, they'll just think, oh, wow, that's really interesting. Wow, they're speaking Korean. Whereas you don't want them to be focused on your speaking. You want them to be focused on what you're actually saying. So I recommend you make initial eye contact just for a split second. And then, again, you're not smiling. And then you kind of look down. Or don't make direct eye contact with them. Because that shows them that you've been in Korea for a while. And you'll stand out much less. And if you speak Korean, they'll just think, instead of thinking, oh wow, this person, this foreigner visiting Korea, tourist, but speaks really good Korean. They're not going to think that. Instead, they're going to think, oh, I guess this is a foreigner that lives in Korea, maybe, because they're not like smiling and all of that sort of stuff. So that's what I recommend. Those things will help. But yeah, the very beginning, focus on the start of your conversation. They say, 시작이 반이다. I know I've said this before. The start is half. Like, the first thing you do is most of what you're doing. And if you just have a good start, that's how you do it. I don't have to deal with that very much. Yesterday when I got sundae-guk also, I was at the restaurant, and I've gone to that restaurant a lot. I go there probably every week because I really like sundae. But anyway, I walked in, it was a different waiter though, and he looked at me, he's like, oh, sit here. In English, I'm like, 여기 앉아요? He said, oh, yes. I'm like, okay, whatever. He wants to speak English. But then he brought out the menu. He's like, oh, do you need a English menu or something? I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was kind of like that. I'm doing my best imitation. And I said in Korean, 아니요, 괜찮아요, like that. And immediately his reaction was, and I quote, 아, 뭐야? like, what the hell? How come you speak Korean, basically? Which is kind of funny. And then he just, went back and started speaking Korean like normal. But if I had kept replying to him in English, it was kind of funny because it was more of like a shock, like, what the hell? Like, I wasn't expecting you to speak Korean. Oh, what the hell? This guy speaks Korean? Oh, okay. And then, nothing else after that. But it was pretty funny. And yeah, if you just set the expectation in the beginning, like, hey, I'm speaking Korean, it's not that I don't speak English, it's not that I can't speak English, but it's that I'm fine, I'm speaking Korean, I'm in Korea, You don't have to use English to me. Then there will still be some people who will push back on that, but that's filtering out like most of the reasons why they start English in the first place. And you're left with only the people who are really insistent on using English because they want to practice their English. And then you can filter out pretty much, it's a way to filter out all of them right away. Okay, let me check another comment. So act as native as possible and they'll treat me as a native. Yes, exactly. In fact, a lot of okay, I'm a Korean teacher, not an English teacher. A lot of people that I know who live in Korea, who are foreigners, will actually completely, like, they'll do that fully. So it's not just that they're speaking Korean, but they also change how they dress. They'll change their fashion. Like they'll wear, back when it was really popular, everyone would wear earbuds. That was just the thing. You wear earbuds. Apple earbuds. If you had those, you're cool. If you didn't have them, you must be poor. It was kind of like a perception for a while. Still kind of is, but anyway. So I know some of my friends who live in Korea, who are foreigners. They'll do the full Korean look. Like they'll buy all the stuff that Koreans will have, same clothes, same hat. Girls I know will wear the same type of makeup, same types of clothes, and then you really don't stand out. It's not to say you can't stand out. You can do whatever you want. The thing is, it's what you want other people to perceive you as. Like you can control whatever you do and whatever you want to dress like and act like, but you can't control what other people are going to perceive about that. So if you want them to speak with you more, if you want to be treated more like you're just a regular, Korean speaking foreigner, you live here, you have to act, you have to dress and talk like that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Like obviously right now I'm, holding my phone up and walking and speaking in English and smiling in a very Korean area. There's no one here who's going to think, oh, this guy's a Korean because of how I'm dressed right now. I'm aware of this. But when I'm not doing YouTube, I don't wear this same outfit. I dress more like a regular Korean person. Or I guess I should say I just dress more like normally. And yeah, I don't have to deal too much with that sort of situation. Anyway, this is a very long answer. Hopefully it helped. I just didn't want to give you a really quick response to that since I felt it needed a little bit more. Okay, let's do another comment. I look people in the eyes a lot and smile often. See, that's good. And I still do that when I speak in English. Like you can see right now, I'm like literally just smiling and I'm not talking about anything funny. But in Korea, I wouldn't do this just because of how it would be perceived. Like again, it's not rude. They actually like it, but you are perceived as a foreigner. And if you want to be spoken to in Korean, which I do, people will speak to me in Korean all the time. They don't come up to me and speak English most of the time. Then it all comes down to what they think you are before they approach you. Does this person look Korean, or is this person do they look like a lost tourist, or do they look like a foreigner living in Korea? Like those are your two options that you get. So you want to go toward foreigner living in Korea if you want them to speak Korean to you. Or just study Korean like crazy, do tons of practice, and then go to Korea and wear like a American flag hat, walk around with an American flag cape, smile at everyone like that, but you speak perfect Korean and you can get away with anything. That's another alternative. But for most people who are still not at that Korean level yet, this is what I recommend. Ready to come back. I'm going back after 3 weeks actually. It's been already over a month. Am I ready to go back? Not yet. No, I still have more people I want to meet. I still have several people that I really want to meet them, and we're talking like, oh yeah, let's meet up when you're in Korea. And I made appointments to meet them, or I haven't made appointments to meet them yet, but we will. So I don't want to go back yet. After 3 weeks, maybe, because it'll start, not because I want to get back, but because it'll start getting too hot here. The middle of July, end of July, especially August area, it gets too hot to enjoy this. And I don't want to be in Korea during the August and September. It's crazy how streamers can just stream and talk to their audience in public. It just takes practice. I know what you're talking about. Anyone who wants to do what I'm doing, Literally, you just do it and you suck it up. You deal with it. Deal with it like a man, or whatever, you know, whatever. But that there's no real secret. There's no secret to it. You just do it, and you just kind of drown out the people that are walking around in the conversations that you're having with everyone here. And you get used to it then. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not that kind of person that would just do this normally. Oh, late night tones. Those of us stuck in your basement would like to be free. And then Late Night Tones asks a good question. I want to read this. I'm doing my honeymoon in Korea. What should I do with 2 weeks in Korea? Ooh, as much fancy stuff as you can. It's going to be your honeymoon. Like, you don't want to take the bus, do you? Do you? You don't want to take the subway. No, that's for poor people, right? No, I'm joking. I would say you want to do a bunch of fancy stuff though. So stay at a nice hotel. Like, I don't know I don't know what your budget is, but why don't you stay like one night at the like Shilla, or one night at, you know, just like a big hotel that charges like $300-400 a night, because it's kind of worth it. I've stayed at those before a couple times when other people have paid. Like, I went with my wife's family a few times, so I didn't have to pay. Very nice. Like, it's nice water pressure, you know, everything's like sparkling clean. You can get breakfast downstairs, you know, all that kind of stuff. I would say do like some tours, like do taxi rides when you don't have much time, because it's not a lot of time, 2 weeks. Eat at some nice restaurants. There are a lot of like Michelin guide restaurants in Korea. You don't have to go to like Michelin star, because you're just paying for that. You're just paying for the star. But Michelin guide restaurants, there are a lot which are more affordable and still very good. I went to a Michelin guide sushi restaurant with some friends. Again, I didn't pay, but they paid. It didn't have a star or anything, just in the guide. It was the best sushi I've ever had in Korea, like, period. Obviously, I've had better before in Japan, but in Korea is the best I ever had. Just Michelin guide, and the service, fantastic service, super friendly. That was in I can't remember exactly the location, the name of it, but anyway, yeah, that's what I would recommend. If you have like specific questions, you can message me on Discord. But Gladys said, I had my TOPIK exam. Please make paragraph level reading comprehension. So yeah, I don't have any TOPIK materials specifically. I always recommend take practice TOPIK tests from like previous years, because the TOPIK tests are, again, tests for taking the TOPIK. They're not necessarily for language abilities. So if you do well on the practice tests, you'll do well on the real thing. But no matter what sort of preparation you do, that's not the actual test questions, doesn't necessarily help you, except at like the low levels of TOPIK, like, you know, the first two. Those ones you don't need to study for that separately. You'll be fine. Is there any tip on how to memorize vocabulary? Yeah, the only way to memorize it long term is to use it. So more speaking practice, like actually using it, not just making sentence examples, but like actually having to use it. That's the only way for your brain for whatever is going on. I'm not a neuroscientist, but for some reason our brains throw away information we're not actually using. So if you are just memorizing it, taking quizzes and doing Anki, your brain doesn't care about it, and you're only gonna be able to use it and remember it when you're actually having to speak it and listen to it on a regular basis. So yeah, more speaking practice and more listening practice together. It's okay, Billy doesn't even feed us down here. Yeah, I actually left the basement locked when I came over here to Korea, so you're gonna have to wait at least 3 more weeks before I go back to the States and I can unlock that. Apologize. But there's water. I mean, there should be a leak, so you can, you know, at least you should get some water whenever it rains. It's a little bit moldy, but there's some bleach down there too. You may mix it. I think it's like 1 part per, like 1 drop per like bottle or something like that. You can figure it out. Billy, can you explain how it's pronounced? Yeah, I have a video about that. Actually, I recommend searching Google how to pronounce that letter on my channel, Lir. But the really quick answer, if anyone too lazy to Google, then you make it by putting your tongue in the position you would make a letter D, like dog, D, and then you say your vowel after that. So if it's like ah, you make your tongue for like dog, 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 but instead of saying dog, you say la. That's the position, and that will change sound based on whether it's the first sound you make in a word or when a word ends on that sound. Then it'll naturally change to that like L or R that you sometimes hear, but it's never either of those. I live in the basement every day. Proudly living in the basement. Yeah, I also have it in the book. It's also in the free course. It's several places I've talked about it. So yeah, I recommend checking that out. Light Bright, that's what it's called. Light Bright, Light Bright. There's like a song. Because it used to like, Sir Star or something. It wasn't the, am I getting confused with the different song? Anyway, there was a Light Bright song. My sister had one, I think, when I was like really little. This would have been when I was like 6 or something like that. Yeah, those are cool. Did I make the topic? What do you mean, did I make the topic? Did I take it? Okay, let's take some other questions. Weather looks nice. Yeah, it's supposed to be raining. Now I'm far enough from the tower. I think we can. Where did it go? Where'd the tower? Oh, it's right behind me, behind the tree. Now I can be in the same shot as the tower. Adobe makes me drink my sweat. Yeah, I mean, it's rainwater that comes from a leak in the roof in the basement. So I'm not sure which is better, but I guess at least sweat has electrolytes, right? It's what plants crave or something. Too many fireworks here. Yeah, I can't say that I miss that. I really don't like being woken up by someone exploding fireworks at 3 in the morning outside my window in the parking lot on July 2nd, and then again on like July 15th. I don't like that. If you want to do your fireworks, you keep them inside, you keep them far away from people, like people's houses, and you do them on July 4th at nighttime. Yeah, they give dogs like heart attacks, and people too, old people with like PTSD and stuff like that. I don't like it very much, but it is what it is. I can't say that I've never dealt with it. It's a normal occurrence in California, at least. I'm sure it's worse in other states. I'm kind of feeling left out right now, says Polygon Gaming. I don't have anyone to practice my Korean with. I'm too anxious to look for Korean speakers online. This might not be what you want to hear. If you can't find friends in real life, I would say, I mean, it is real life, but you can't find friends in person. The next best thing is find friends online. You can try many ways to find them online. It doesn't have to be like you're randomly messaging someone saying, hey, let's be friends. Language exchange apps, I think, are good for that because they make it easy. It's like, it's supposed to be a process to connect you with Koreans. So try those. If you're saying though that you're too anxious to even use like language exchange apps, then yeah, again, this wouldn't be what you want to hear necessarily, but just to remind everyone that Korean is a language that you hope to speak someday. The only way to get good at speaking Korean is to have actually lots of practice speaking Korean. And the only way to do that is to speak Korean again. Like you can't really speak Korean with, I mean, you could speak Korean like with ChatGPT, like you can open up the window, but you're not going to get any feedback based on that because it's not giving you natural replies to that. So the best thing would be to try to help your actual anxiety so that you can even take that first step. Tutors might be able to help with that because tutors, they're not really your friend. I mean, they really couldn't be. You're paying them, and they can kind of give you that, help you feel less anxious because you're not speaking with a regular Korean. You're speaking with someone who knows already that you're making mistakes and is trying to help you. So it's kind of like going to the doctor. Like, are you embarrassed at the doctor to to show them like a weird bump you have or to talk about some ailment you have. I mean, maybe a little bit, but much less than you would have with like a stranger or even with a friend. So it's kind of like that, kind of like a doctor. So tutor could work for that, but you just need a lot of practice doing it. As someone also who has like speaking anxiety, or at least much better, it's much more under control nowadays, but who had it, you have to do it a lot to get better at the thing that's difficult. Practice Korean in the car on the way to work. Okay, Tony likes Wix. That's a good idea if you can do that. Do you like driving in Korea? I have never driven in Korea, not any long distance. I've parked cars for a few people who are like, can you help? I can't get the car in here. Like, okay, you know. And I've gotten my international license before several times in Korea. So at least I can do that sort of stuff. But I've never like rented a car myself and driven. I don't want to. I'll drive in LA any day. I don't want to drive in Korea. Drivers here are not friendly. They are very aggressive. They don't like letting people cut in line. And I shouldn't say cut in line, cut in. Yeah, you're not cutting in line, but like, you know, you're merging. Literally merging is the word I was looking for. They don't like when people do the thing that the traffic signals were designed to do, like merge. Turning, believe it or not, straight to jail. Can't turn, can't merge. So yeah, I just feel like it's not very friendly. And then on top of it all, they go very fast, and I see lots of people break traffic laws daily, which I guess I could say the same thing about LA, to be fair. But I'll keep at least LA people are friendly in driving. You know, they'll cut you off, but then they'll be like, thanks. You know, they'll do the hand wave through their window. Okay. Billy Go's a channel that focuses on parking cars and other variety of valet. That is true. That's my new channel's focus. Okay, I've actually made a whole round of this park. So I think I'm gonna go back over here again for a little bit. We'll see, maybe I can walk back. Maybe I can go in the mall that I was trying to go in the first place. And just so everyone knows, this stream is not gonna be 2 hours or two and a half hours or 3 hours like it normally is. It's only going to be, I'd say, a good hour and 15 minutes. The reason why is because I actually have a lunch appointment in the area today. So I can't do it too long, because otherwise I'll be making my friends wait. When I was in Korea, there's so much honking. Yeah, honking is a normal thing. Like, they have different driving rules here. I would need to do more driving I would need to do driving in order to make a video about that. But I have noticed many things on the ground about how people are driving. One of the major things, I mean, you can get your international license immediately without knowing any of this stuff. But there is still some stuff you should know if you're going to drive in Korea. One of the things I noticed is that you cannot make a U-turn unless there is a U-turn signal, a U-turn sign specifically. If there's not a U-turn sign, it is illegal to do a U-turn there, which is different than the US, where you can, at least in California, you can do a U-turn anywhere you want that doesn't have a no U-turn sign, right? Korea, it's the opposite. There has to be a U-turn sign or you can't. In fact, my brother-in-law got a ticket for doing that, doing a U-turn when there was no U-turn sign. And they will not pull you over. There are no like police that are driving around pulling people over. That's only if there's like an emergency, then they'll do it. But all of it is like traffic cameras that will just tag your car and send you a send you a bill in the mail, like a few weeks or a month later. So yeah, and then other things I noticed were, to a lot of drivers, traffic signals and signs are more of a suggestion. In fact, while I was walking to the bus stop today to come here, I saw a truck slowly go straight through a red light. Like, it was a red light and people were crossing the street. Literally, people are in the street crossing. And this truck just keeps going right through. It's all red. Makes a turn and keeps going. I'm like didn't even like pretend to look both directions, just like, oh, you know what? Whatever, I'm just gonna go. And I wish that was a rare occasion. I just so happened to have one that happened today. It's very common. I see people just run red lights. They'll stop like to check and then they just go. Like, it doesn't matter if there's someone else coming. Yeah, they have a lot of issues like that. People will memorize where the speed cameras are. So they'll go really fast and then they'll slow down again when they get up to a speed camera. It's like, It's just weird driving. You know, every place has its weird drivers, and how are your drivers different than this? I'm sure they're different, but I'm trying to learn Korean because I'm going to audition for a K-pop company. Okay, depending on your age, you might not have to worry about it too much. If you get accepted, they probably would understand that you don't speak Korean much, and they would use that as part of your training. But yeah, if you do speak some Korean, that will definitely help. But I know they do frequently, or not frequently, sometimes cast people who don't speak Korean, and then they learn Korean while doing their training. Felix is a good example. Felix was someone who and very much, and then learned it through his during his training time. I'm greatly enjoying my learning journey so far. Thank you for your clear explanations. Is there a place in Korea that's specifically meaningful to you? Yeah, I think. It's gonna be somewhere in Suwon because that's where I stay. Maybe Suwon Fortress. I don't know. Because I go there so much, I'm really familiar with it. I've walked around the area dozens of times, and it has a lot of cool stuff you can do in the area. So like if you just go there, like you want to meet a friend and you're in Suwon, just go there. There's stuff to do and eat and see. And yeah, even when the weather's like really bad, it's still kind of cool because you don't get lost. It's just like this one loop that goes around for like an hour or so. Maybe there. Other than that, like I don't have like oh, this was the spot where I proposed. Like I don't have any like big spots like that in Korea, so not really. M. Keith says, I love the swearing bus drivers. Some don't hold back at all. Yeah, you can hear that. Taxi drivers too. Sometimes I had the worst. I didn't share this story, did I? I had the worst taxi driver experience a few weeks ago. So this would have been right before the last live stream that I did 2 weeks ago, when I moved from my apartment in Seoul to Suwon, where I normally stay. And tell me if I already shared this story about a taxi driver. It was just like the driver himself was kind of weird too. But anyway, so I'm at my apartment. Sorry, I'm at the place I was staying, the Airbnb, which was like a small apartment. And I'm waiting outside. It's a little alleyway, so there's not much space. And he turns down and he comes down the alleyway, picks me up. I put my suitcases in. He's like, okay, let's go. The other side of the alleyway, though, that he was going to exit out was blocked by a truck that was delivering stuff. Now, in Korea, it's illegal to be blocking the road for delivery at all. Like, you can't stop for a second. But because it's a smaller alleyway, and this was early in the morning, like 6 a.m., there was no one like patrolling. And the driver knew that if he called to report it, it's going to be like 20-30 minutes before anyone shows up. So he's like, well, whatever, the guy's not leaving. So he tries going into I guess the truck had parked in front of a hotel. So he went inside the hotel, he was talking. The driver's like, oh, I'll move it in like 30 minutes. So the taxi driver now at this point is like angry. Like, this guy is not moving his truck. He's not even trying to move his truck. He's just blocking the road. So I can't leave. How do you leave from an alley when it's like there's no clearance? Well, he figured it out in a bad way. So he reversed his car and he did a normally, you know, like a 3-point turn. This was like a 300-point turn. Back and forth, like Austin Powers and, you know, the original Austin Powers, where he's like trying to turn around in that little golf cart thing. It was exactly like that. And he was doing it into this hotel's parking lot that was like really small. It had room for like half of a motorcycle could park there. It's really small, but he like turned around slowly, like so many times, back and forth and back and forth. It took him over 20 minutes to finally get out. But that's not the funny part. That's not what makes it an interesting trip. That was the beginning of this horrible experience. So while backing up and going forward, he repeatedly smashed his front bumper into actually, I'll show you exactly what it looks like. It's exactly this type of thing. It was a place to sit down that was attached to the wall of the hotel. They had this exact type of thing with wood where you can sit down. He smashed his bumper into there, like lightly, so many times. I heard I heard a legitimate crunch twice. And then other times it was like tap, 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 but like crunching twice. And then I got out and I checked, and it's like literally he scratched his car. Like, what is this guy doing? Like, at this point, if I had bumped that, I would be like, okay, that's it. You know, forget it. I'm going to call. We're going to report it. I'm really sorry about this. I can't give you a ride. Or, you know, just say, are you okay waiting? No, he was pissed. He was determined to get out of this spot. So finally he did it. But right before he turned out back to the other way, there was a motorcycle parked right in front, like at the edge of the hotel. And he backs up and his bumper hits the motorcycle, like someone else's motorcycle. And I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like, I'm in getting secondhand embarrassment from this because I'm the passenger in his taxi. I get out and I check because I was like concerned for this. He had the motorcycle's fine, but he had bumped into the license plate, scratched his bumper in the back, and bent the license plate. So it was like 90 degrees, half in half. So I'm like, I feel bad for that because this driver's, there's no way he's going to do anything. He's not going to report this. He's not going to go in and say, hey, whose bike is that? I'm sorry, I bumped it. So I got out, and without the driver, I'm just like, okay. So I straightened out, fortunately it was like really thin. So I straightened out the motorcycle's license plate because I feel bad. But like, he's still, and the guy didn't even care. He didn't even ask, oh, how's the motorcycle? And he didn't even acknowledge it. He's just silently like, oh, I hate this guy, like swearing and stuff the whole time. Finally, we get out of there. I'm like, okay, nightmare's over. Nope, not yet. Going down the freeway, he's like speeding. But then they get little alerts on their GPS device about the speed limits. So, you know, he'll slow down right when they go in there in that area and then speed up again. And the whole time, 저 삐삐 말 안 했으면은 이미 도착했을 텐데. 저 삐삐 저만 그거만 아니었으면은 swearing the whole time. If it just weren't for that guy, I would have already been there. Oh man, I can't believe that. Oh man, I hate that guy. And he didn't just say it once. The whole hour-long trip. Every 10 minutes, he'd bring it up again. Oh, if it weren't for that guy, oh, we would have already been here. Oh, we're late. Oh, you know, I don't really get much money from this job. Oh, man, oh, man, if it weren't for that guy, we would have already been here. I don't get that much money from this job, by the way. You know, I don't really get that much money from this job. You know, they don't even pay me very much for this job. I'm not exaggerating. I'm actually minimizing how many times he repeated this. Was getting so annoying. I'm like, I got it. I know. I got it the first time. I got it the 10th time. And again, like we're getting close to the place. He's like, so what are you doing in Korea? Well, you know, I'm not telling him I'm a YouTuber. I'm not telling him I teach Korean. No, I don't want this guy to talk any more than he has to. So I'm like, oh, you know, just 그냥 여행 온 거예요. I'm just here on a trip. He's like, if it weren't for that guy, you know, that keeps swearing, I would have already been here. Oh, so sorry about that. Man, that guy, he just ruined everything. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, I actually normally don't do this job. I'm only doing this job for today. I don't get paid very much money for this. I'm like, shut up. At this point, like, I wanted to say, like, I get it. I regret speaking Korean with this guy at this point. Finally drops me off. Okay, gets to my apartment. I'm like, okay, we're good. Takes my bags out. He's like, oh, sorry again about that. You know, really sorry about that. If it weren't for that guy, I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, okay, anyway, goodbye. I'm like, what was up? I gave him 5 stars out of fear because I'm like, it was more like I felt bad that he scratched up his bumpers to get out of an alleyway. But at the same time, this guy was so stubborn. I'm like, at any point in that 20 minutes that he was trying to to turn his car around, I would have been like, no, this is when you stop and you report him. But no, this guy is like stubborn, so stubborn. The other option that he had the whole time was simply backing up. It's a crazy idea, but if you go in one way, your car has this thing called reverse. You can come back out that way. Who knew that's possible? But the reason why he didn't do that is his own words. He said he wasn't able to. He's like, I won't be able to reverse. I'm not that good. And when he first said that, I was like, he's just saying it's inconvenient to reverse. After that experience, I believe him. I believe him that we would have had a worse experience had he tried to reverse and gone out the way he came in. Anyway, horrible experience, 5 stars. Would not ride with him again. Oh my God, yeah, Tim Robbins. Yeah, it's like if he had been Tim Robbins, it would have been a more pleasant experience. We're all trying to find the guy who did this. Yeah, it was legitimately like that kind of thing. Quizzical Cats. Okay, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Quizzical Cats asks, do you have any hiking trail recommendations? Hiking trail, pick a mountain. Have fun hiking a mountain because the cool thing about Korean hiking is that the mountains are fairly low. You can do them all, except for like, some exceptions. You can do all of them and come back right back down a few hours later. So it's not like you need a huge time commitment or you need to be like extremely fit to do it for most of them. For most of them, obviously research before you go. There are some that would actually be difficult. You want to pack a lot for, but most of them you can just go up, get a nice hike for a few hours, come back down. Just bring some water, make sure you wear good shoes, all that basic stuff. But they're really well set up. Like they have stairs, they'll have like nice padding on top of the dirt so that way your feet are comfortable. They'll have railings, all this stuff. I don't have a specific recommendation though. I think they're all good. Oh, hey, Samata. Thank you so much, Samata. Samata, do you have a comment? I'll read it. This is your chance for me to read a comment. There's a trail that has a gym at the top. I can read Hangul, but I'm a bit stuck in the beginner level. I recommend, if you haven't already, do my free beginner course. But at that level, it's not where I would give you some specific advice yet for that. I wouldn't worry at all. Samada Duta 89. I like the GIF you sent. If you have something you want to say, I will read it. Do you have book recommendations for? Yeah, actually I did. I did a video about book recommendations I think a couple months ago with Jillian Sem. So watch that. Check that one out. It's in my Glass with Billy series. Josh Richmond, I was blown away at how well Korean trails are maintained. Yes, same. First time I went hiking in Korea was actually, I think it was the same way. But nowadays they're even better. Yeah, they all have like nice amenities. They'll even have like bathrooms. Like what? They'll have like bridges over streams and stuff. Like it's all nicely set up. I went to a hiking spot that even had a wheelchair ramp that went all the way up to the main observation area. It wouldn't go all the way up to the top because it would be a bit rough for that. But like the main area where you can kind of feel like you got a good view, the wheelchair ramp the entire way up. Not even joking. It's like, what? Awesome. I didn't take that, but it was just because I went up to the main observation area and I saw a bunch of people with wheelchairs there. I'm like, suspicious. And then I looked and I saw the whole path. But yeah, I was like amazed. I heard the area Dongtan. Yeah, it is booming. It's very quickly growing. They're making a new subway line finally. They didn't have a subway. Normally the only way to get there would be a taxi or driving there. Or like, I think they had like a bus that went rarely. But yeah, now they have buses. They have a new subway route coming in. And yeah, it's really popular. And yes, I've been there many times. I haven't talked with her in a long time. She got married and I haven't spoken with her in probably like almost 10 years. But I do have a friend who lives there and I visited there quite often. Nice area. Even then it was already nice, like 10 or so, 15 years ago. Any tips for reading Korean faster? Reading faster will come from understanding faster. So this is one thing where I don't think you really need to stress too much about how to read faster. When you get faster at speaking, when you get faster at understanding, your reading speed will come along with it. But I did a video about reading Korean a couple months ago. I uploaded it on my channel, so check that out. And I have some more tips in there too. Yeah, I know I'm not Billy, but you shouldn't worry about your reading speed. Yes, exactly. Well, now you are Billy. Small Paper Stars says, on the topic of books, not Korean language books, but regular novels. Do you have any book recommendations? I do not, because I only recently trying to do more reading, like this year recently, or I guess technically last fall. But yeah, so I don't yet. The only things that I could recommend personally would be like comics, because I normally do lots of reading from like grammar books or, articles, stuff like that, conversations with friends, like messages. But I wasn't very much of like a book. I don't read that many books. That's not something to really brag about. But I'm not someone who reads a lot of novels, at least as an adult. I did a lot in, up till high school and college. And then I got really busy with studying languages and I just didn't, I guess, anymore. But I'm trying to get back into it a little bit. Comics are fun, but they're not the best way to learn. But again, I recommend watching that video I did because I met with a Korean, Jillian, who's a Korean teacher. She does a ton of reading. She loves reading and she talks a lot about that. So I recommend checking out that video. She'll have better advice than me on that. Yeah, but for me, I mean, she personally recommends books over comics, and I would agree with her. The only thing I would also add, though, is I think if you're not doing any reading, then comics are better than not doing any reading. But obviously, better than comics will be regular books, because comics aren't going to give you a lot of complex Korean. It's mostly just spoken. So yeah, but comics are fun. In fact, they're going to be doing I heard they're doing like a Level Up movie at Netflix, and that's kind of funny because I had those books. I bought them when they were originally coming out brand new. I think I got the 5th one brand new at the bookstore, and now they're doing a movie on it. But you can read the comics, read the original comics, and then watch the movie when it comes out, because I guarantee you that's going to get pretty popular. I see a lot of people talking about that. I know it's not a thing yet, but a year or so from now, I'm not sure when the movie releases, a month after that movie releases, or are they doing a show or a movie? Whatever. After that releases, I guarantee you're going to know it. Anyway. Short stories. Yeah, short stories would be a bit difficult. The reason is a lot of short stories read more like, kind of like poems almost. Like it can be more challenging unless you get simpler versions of those short stories that are made for younger Koreans, not children, but like, teenagers, then that might be a little bit better. I've read some of those before. I know Solnagi, of course. Personally, I don't like it. A terrible story, but it is very well known. Maybe the most well known. I've read a lot of those before, but I think personally I enjoy comics more because they have more enjoyable endings, characters, and you get the funny images with them too, which is the good part. My kid also loves comics, although we are transitioning him into more like regular books as well. The reason is I just want him to get more reading practice, longer text, not short ones like comics, which I'm fine with him reading. I like him reading those too, but I want him also to be more interested in books as well. So he's starting to do that more from, I think, about a couple years ago. We've been pushing that more, but really starting from this year as well, we're going to make another big push for that too. And he's also into it. We've got him already. He doesn't know this, so I don't know if he's watching, but we already got him, or maybe he does know, we already got him a couple books, like novels that are in Korean. I don't know if he's watching. If he is, hi. Maybe I won't say, but anyway, we got him some novels. I'll just say that because that's true. He could be watching. I don't know if he's watching me right now. But anyway, yeah, very thick novels we've got for Jeremy already. He's looking forward to reading them too, so it should be good. Problem with comics, I'd have to read a slice of life comics for the most benefit. There are those types of comics. I don't know them because I'm not into that. But yeah, there are comics like that too. A lot of what it usually is they'll make webtoons, and then the webtoons will get popular, and then they'll publish it as a book. So they have webtoons about all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be like Goofy Marshmallow Man flies a spacecraft. Like they have regular, actually that could be kind of fun. But they have regular stories about like actual people, like, people going to work, doing stuff like that, family drama, Lorena, any advice on when searching for a house? Which neighborhoods are more safe to rent a house? I don't have advice on that because I don't own my own house. I haven't done house searching before, but I would ask a Korean. I would just say pick a house not too far from where you're working, or at least close to a subway station or major bus stop. That way you have good access to anything. Or if you have a car, then you can get somewhere else, like in the countryside. One of my friends lives out in the countryside, built his own house, and drives. So that'll be up to you. Does your kid really watch you? I don't know. But he has sometimes watched my streams in the past, occasionally. Usually, though, not. But just in case he's watching, I don't want him to know what books I already got him. But it's safe to say they're very thick. Like, you will be like, you'll gasp if you hear the name of the book. It's a book a couple books that you know. I guarantee you know them. In Korean. Like a couple that are translated from English, but still by a Korean author, so it's okay. If you have a car, learn how to reverse. Yes. I was actually tempted after like the 20-minute mark, I was tempted to offer to back up for him, because I'm like, I'm a pretty good driver. I could get you out of here, but yeah. I did though get out of the taxi, and I was what do you call it? Where I'm giving him signals for how much space he had. In the beginning, he was watching me for like a minute, but then after that, he just stopped. He just ignored me, and he wasn't paying attention anymore. That was actually when he hit the motorcycle. I was telling him he doesn't have space. I can't show you my arms, but I was doing like, hold out how much space he has left, and I was holding out on like this, and then I held out a foot because he went forward, and then he backed up right into it. Like, you can see it clearly out the window that there's a bike here. Like, why would you slam on the gas and back into it? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, bumpers, that's true. Yeah, this is what bumpers are for, as someone said. They're for bumping things, or else why have them? Why do you go to bumper cars at the theme park if you're not going to bump into someone? It's obviously the same on cars, just bigger, right? Please do an interview with some village people. I'll have to go out to the countryside if I want to interview any 마을 사람들. Yeah, I haven't done Billy Gaming in a while. The reason is not because I don't want to. I actually enjoyed doing that. It's the reason I was able to do it was because of COVID. Thanks to COVID. No, actually, COVID's the reason I was able to do a lot of stuff. Like the beginner course was because I had all the time. But it was the same thing. I had every day I would either do filming or writing or editing for that series. And after I finished editing that series, every day it was around 6 o'clock. I would start editing at like 9 a.m., finish at around 5 or 6, depending on the length, upload it, schedule it to be posted, and then I was free from like 6 every day. And I was like, well, what do I do? I don't need dinner. I already ate a little bit while working. I would eat a big lunch. So I'm like, well, let's just, I've got a few hours before my kid has to go to bed. Let's play some games. That was the idea. That time, though, disappeared after COVID ended and things got busier. And yeah, now I'll be lucky if I have like 30 minutes to play games after like 9 o'clock. Like, my kid's already in bed. I'm just sitting at my computer. I'm like, I guess I can play games for like 30 minutes if I'm free. So yeah. So that's the story with Billy Gaming. Okay, I've got just 15 minutes left. 15 minutes left for today, and then I'll have to end the stream. And I'm not even going to bother going into the mall again, because in the mall, that's where I was planning on going originally, was streaming from the mall. But because I said I got there, I guess, too early, it wasn't even open. But it's okay, this is nice anyway. We got nice weather. I wanted to take you all here to see this park anyway, so it's not really that bad. And you still get to see the tower. Who needs a mall anyway? There's just food and shops there anyway. But yeah, it's good to see you again, Cameron. Let's see. Your alien buddy. The beginner course kept me busy and learning during COVID. I'm glad. I'm really glad I actually got to make that course. I wanted to make that course for years. 2 years. Or 2 or 3 years. For years. Before I did, I'd already wanted to do that. But I knew that it was impossible. In fact, I told myself, if I had a ton of free time, I'll do this. But I knew it was never going to happen. Because it would take, like, I wouldn't be able to go to Korea, whatever year it happened. I wouldn't have the time to go to Korea. I knew I wouldn't have the time to film any other videos. I wouldn't have the time to go anywhere. Like, that was what my mentality was, because I knew it was true. And it did. It ended up taking every single day of my life. But I was able to do it because I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't go to Korea. I couldn't meet anyone, couldn't film anything. Yeah, so it worked out. I do have another idea, actually. I've had it actually before the beginner course that I would like to do someday. I'm not going to say it because then that means I'll never do it. But I do have another idea that's even better. But I would also need a lot of time to do that. So I don't know. I think I need a full month or maybe 2 months to do this other idea. So it's shorter, but it would also need a lot of free time. Maybe if I can figure out a way to get a bunch of free time, then I'll do this other thing I have, which would also be an idea I've had for maybe a year before the beginner course. Ocarina of Time remake coming for the N64. Okay, I never played the original. I did watch my brother play it though. I am more looking forward to when they release their secret Chrono Trigger remaster, which they are doing, by the way. I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day. Or actually, I don't know when. I know they're working on it though. It's kind of like a leak thing. Hey Billy, discovered your channel from that Korean language channel. Which Korean language channel? That doesn't narrow it down at all. Any misconceptions about Korea from a Westerner? I think people have misconceptions about Korean dating, Korean romance because of what they see in dramas. Dramas are 100% fake. The romance you see, I'm not singling out Korean guys or Korean girls. It's all fake. Like, none of that exists. I've never heard of it existing. I've never met anyone like that. Never heard of anyone meeting anyone like that. Just know that, but kind of the same with the US too. So that shouldn't really be a surprise. But yeah, if you go to Korea, you're not gonna, like, your future husband, he's not gonna get shot and then the bullet goes to his brain, but before he's dying, he leaves you his $1 million, his $10 million company that he's inheriting from his dad, who doesn't want to give it to him if he marries you because you're not a rich CEO. All this stuff, that'll never happen, of course. But even just regular dating behavior is not accurate. It would be easier to say what is accurate. People are regular people. They are. I don't want to make any stereotypes either, because that wouldn't be nice. But I would just say lower your expectations dramatically. And yeah, don't believe what you see in Korean dramas or Korean variety shows for that matter. Korean dating variety shows for that matter. It's fake. Yeah, maybe if Adobe sponsors. Yeah, I think so. If we got a sponsor like Adobe who would let me have, like, who would pay me so that way I wouldn't have to work on other videos for like a month or two maximum, I think, then I can do this new thing that I'm thinking about. But again, I don't want to say it because I know if I say it, I'm never going to do it. But it is mostly planned, like, because I've been thinking about this from even before the beginner course. Kun Young Lo said hi. Nice. Well, do Korean women like American men? I think so. I think, but for the most part, I think yes. Although again, this is stereotype and there are going to be plenty of people that don't care or don't. I'd say overall though, because there's a positive image of Americans, I'd say yes. But it'll depend what country you're from. England, yeah, people have a very good view of England. It doesn't have to be, you don't necessarily have to be white skinned, but it's the nationalities as well. But again, this is like, stereotyping isn't always the best thing because Koreans aren't a monolith. Everyone has their own preferences. But in general, I'd say overall, yes, there's a good view on people who are from the US. The people, anyway. It's like how people think the US is, exactly. I had someone tell me that they thought everyone in high school does a sport. So I can't remember. I think it was at one of my kids' academy. One of his academy teachers was like, "Oh, I heard it. In the U.S., you guys all do like swimming or running or tennis or all that stuff." And I'm like, "No, we have to do PE. We do gym class, but that's all up to what the students want or what the parents want them to do. But I'd say most students don't do any sort of like extracurricular like that unless they want to." But their understanding was that everyone does it. Like everyone's doing, like, joining, the lacrosse team or track and field or something like that. And it's not really. Yeah, I did a video with my friend Randy, which I also posted a few months ago. We talk about some common stereotypes about Korea and Korean people. So definitely check that out. He's really funny. It's a talking video, but it's kind of like comedy because he's just so funny. It's Emma asked, should I start learning Korean? I don't know. I honestly don't know. You came to a Korean learning channel, but my honest opinion is, I don't know. Do you want to learn Korean? I think that'd be a good place to start. Kehun Young says, Yuktir. Is that a Korean meme? Yuktir? I don't know. When you visited Korea, what was your first culture shock? I don't remember exactly what the first culture shock was because it was a long time ago. I do remember a few things. One of them, I'll just say, one of them was that people will eat together, that they don't like. If you have a bag of chips and you're opening it up at a park with your friend, you don't eat it by yourself, you share. If you're going to eat something, like you're hungry, you go to a restaurant, sit down, your friend's like, I'm not hungry. Nope, they're eating. You go to a cafe, you have to get a drink because you're thirsty. They're getting a drink too. You don't eat by yourself. That was a big culture shock. And then there are a bunch of others, but I'll just stick with that one. Pokemon fan says, I've been learning Korean for over 2 weeks. Nice. 2 weeks. Brand new beginner. Welcome to the club. I agree with parks better than malls. I went to Busan and I think Taejongdae is a good place to walk and think. I like going to parks. Malls are where you go to. Malls are where you meet your friends. They're where you go see movies. Parks are where you go to relax. Like I'm just literally walking back and forth now, just so I can keep the tower in view. I walked around this park. I did a whole walk all the way around this park, and now I'm just going back and forth. Yeah. Vid free, can you eat by yourself without being bothered? Yes, if you go to a restaurant, they have something called hun pap, which is hunja and pap bok, like eating basically pap by yourself. Hun bap. And lots of restaurants nowadays are hun bap friendly. In the past, though, it wasn't the case, where a lot of places, they wouldn't want you in by yourself. Not because they don't want you to eat by yourself, but because they serve a lot of side dishes and they don't want one person coming in, ordering one food for like one dish for one person, but getting all the side dishes, which they have to throw away if you don't eat them or you don't eat all of them. So they want at least like 2 or 3 people. Nowadays, though, a lot of restaurants are more friendly to single eaters. They reduce how many side dishes they'll give you, and they'll have smaller tables that can accommodate just like 1 person or 2 people. You won't have an issue with it though. But I mean, if you're with someone, you're not going to be eating alone. If you're alone, well, yeah, you're eating alone. There's nothing you can do about that. Adrian asks an interesting question as well. Is it acceptable for one person to order and eat a 2-person meal and take out whatever you cannot finish? So taking out what you can't finish is not a common thing. It depends on the restaurant, though. Typically, you're expected to eat what you want to eat there. You can ask, though, for a bag to get stuff to go. Like, I remember when my wife's family had a dog and we would eat something with meat, they would get a to-go bag for some of the bones. So I don't know if it's a very good idea, but I think they would like sort out which, like maybe there's like a really nice big bone in there they would bring back to the dog, I think is what they would do. But I've never gotten to go after eating at a restaurant. It's you eat there what you're going to eat, and then the stuff that you have extra, some places will provide like they'll give you like a to-go box, like a styrofoam box or something, or plastic, whatever they would use for normally for delivery. They'll give that to you if you ask. It's just not a common thing. And I rarely see people ask. I did see someone though yesterday when I went to eat at sundaekguk. The guy got his extra sundae to go. It was a very old guy, like I think he was probably in his 70s. And it's a very rare situation. I've been studying Korean on your channel for a month. Nice. Also, welcome to the beginner club. Again, you're doing great. Glad you're here. I didn't know what I was trying to say. I was like, I'm happy that you're studying, but how do I express that in words? You don't always have the luxury of having company. That's true. Okay, I'm a picky eater. I'll be skipping all the side dishes. That's fine. What's a fun fact that most people might not know? Oh yeah. Hey.
저에게 비리 선생님에게 한국어를 배우고
아 정말요?
네.
와 신기하다. Do you wanna appear in my stream?
Sure, why not?
I'm actually doing a live stream right now.
안녕하세요.
What's your name?
크란.
크란. 어디서
네.
오셨어요?
미국에서 어제 도착했어요.
어제 도착했어요?
네.
미국 어디에서 오셨어요?
캘리포니아.
캘리포니아 어디?
스탠포드.
스탠포드. Okay.
지금은 스탠포드에서 박사과정 학생이에요.
Wow. Because I'm from LA.
Oh,
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, dude, I did not expect to meet you randomly.
No,
like this.
I saw out of the corner of my eye, I saw there was someone stopped. But
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, maybe it's a Korean person looking at the lake. But then I'm like,
Uh-huh.
no, they would never stop there if I'm like here. So I'm like, probably maybe someone recognizes me.
But yeah, great to meet you.
Yeah, we have
만나서 반가웠어요.
this person says, oh, I think it's a Korean person. Says,
Oh.
wow, you speak Korean so well.
Ah, thank you.
How long have you been studying Korean?
2년 동안 이제.
이제 2년 됐어요?
네.
대박이다.
네.
Wow. And you just came to Korea today? And you're
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday, sorry.
Okay.
And what are you doing in Korea?
학회,
Oh,
인공지능학회, 그리고 그 다음에 여행.
wow. AI stuff. And
Yeah.
how long are you going to stay here for?
2주일 동안.
Okay. Oh, that's like similar to me. I'll be leaving after like 3 weeks.
Oh, I see. Going
Yeah.
back to.
Yeah,
LA?
going back to LA again.
Oh, very
I'm
nice.
usually here for like 2 months every year,
Mhm.
and then or 2 or 3 months, and then go back after that. And I just film a lot of videos, and I'm doing like live streams every 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
Hold on, I have a pen I can give you.
Oh,
Hold on.
thanks so much.
When people recognize me in Korea, I give them
Uh-huh.
a pen.
souvenir.
Yes, it's a souvenir. Hold on, I won't give you my stain removing laundry stick. I do recommend this. I love this
Ooh.
from Daiso.
Nice.
Yeah, you just like wipe them on your clothes, and then
Uh-huh.
it gets rid of any stain. Okay, here. Oh, here we go. I do carry around these for a reason. Oh, that was a dirty one. I don't want to give you that one. That's the one I'm using. Oh. So wait, what are you doing here then today?
Just going around.
You just like randomly walked into a park. You're like,
Yeah.
are you staying in this area then?
Yeah. Sofitel.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
I was gonna do a stream in the mall today.
Oh.
I got there at 10.
10?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
not
here,
open yet.
but it wasn't open yet, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Why am I in this dumb mall when the
Ah.
weather's so nice today? It's not raining." Here, this is
Thank you so much.
just a pen.
감사합니다.
Anything you want to ask to this Korean learner of 2 years who recognized me? I'm not sure. Let me just check the chat. Let's see. Are there any English words that Korean use for slang? Yeah, they use lots of Korean. Let's see. I just want to see if there's an interesting question we should get. If people don't take their leftovers at a restaurant, there must be a lot of food waste. Did you ever think about that? Do you know what Koreans do when they don't eat the food at the restaurant?
Actually, no.
They actually throw it all away.
Well, then the same.
I mean, like,
as
yeah,
us.
but like they don't reuse the sides. So like if they
banchan?
give you banchan, like
Uh-huh.
you get like all these banchan,
Yeah.
and if you like only eat one and leave it all,
Yeah.
they legally throw it all away. Although it goes into the 음식물 쓰레기, so it gets fed to animals. So
Compost.
it's technically not being wasted, but they do have to throw it away. So they're like all the Korean pigs are getting kimchi, like tons and tons of kimchi, I'm sure. Let's see. How are you liking Korea?
너무 좋아요.
왜 좋아요? 가장 좋아하는
가장 좋아.
게 뭐예요?
예뻐요. How do you say? Environment is nice.
Oh, yeah, okay.
사람들이 다 너무 친절해요.
그쵸. 친절하죠.
네.
Any tips for
tips?
Korean?
I think I'm the one who needs tips. I'm not super consistent lately.
Okay, well, you're in Korea
But,
now.
yeah.
So 2 weeks of being consistent.
Yeah.
How did you get into AI? Did you study?
Yeah, just an undergrad doing research.
Just say you vibe wrote your resume. So let's see. Is about that food issue in my country is common. Yeah, I think it's probably common everywhere, but in Korea as well. And then how long did it take to be fluent in Korean?
I'm far from fluent. I would say around a year or so, I felt a bit of a switch where like I could really understand a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was like less, and now it's like at least you understand
At
most
least
of
understand, even if I can't recall everything I want to say.
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, I am going to actually take off because I'm ending my stream today in 3 minutes. But it was nice of you to say hi.
Yeah.
I'll give you a fist bump because my hand's kind of dirty from carrying this thing.
Can I take a quick picture?
Yeah. You get a picture. Actually, not with this. Get it with your phone. I'll have this in the picture though. Okay, everyone smile for the picture. You're all in this photo right now. Sweet, yeah. Thanks for
All
saying
right.
hi.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Take care.
그럼 다음에 또 봐.
다음에 또.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream in like 2 minutes. That was cool. It's okay if you make mistakes. I can hear you very clearly. Yeah. It sounds pretty good to me. Oh, and then he's walking this way again, so I get to see him again. Bye. I'm going up here. Yeah, I usually do a little bit of fan service when I meet someone, just because, you know, they came to Korea to meet me, obviously. That's the 2 weeks to, you know, studying AI and all that stuff. That was an excuse. I know that he just got off the plane today because he saw me start streaming. He's like, oh, now's my chance. Booked a flight, found me from like geolocated me using like GeoGuessr wizards. And yeah, so I understand. I get it. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming to the stream. I'm gonna end it here. Didn't even get to go inside the mall for a second, but who cares? Because we got this beautiful view. And we got to talk about horrible taxi drivers, which is always good. I always have a horrible taxi driver experience. You can ask me anytime you see me. Billy, what was your most recent horrible taxi driver experience? I'm just gonna walk up to the door of the mall and then we'll end the stream for today. So it's like another minute. What helped you to memorize Korean grammar? It's the same as memorizing Korean vocab, but when you say memorize, you mean actually internalize it and know it long term. And the only way to do that is lots of speaking practice. And I'm not saying that lightly. It's really the only way. Everyone who's ever learned Korean that I've met got good Korean by doing lots of speaking practice. And they all have similar stories. If you ask a fluent Korean speaker, how'd you get so good at speaking Korean? Every single one is going to tell you the same thing. Oh, I had Korean, you know, all my friends are Korean. I lived with a Korean. It's not going to be like married a Korean. It's never that. Or like dated a Korean. It's never that. If they actually speak Korean well. It's always lived with Koreans, had tons of Korean friends, or Korean family. Because you need to speak. You need to have people that you can speak with on a regular basis and speak a lot. Okay. I think that's good. Thank you everyone for coming. And I'll do another stream in a couple weeks, so you'll see me one more time before I leave Korea, and then after that it'll be back into the US. We'll do some streams, classes again like normal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Get to look up my notes.